The Al-Qaeda insurgency has generated a new humanitarian crisis in the Arab world's poorest country. In Aden, only emergency relief is keeping a wave of displaced people alive. The Yemeni state is failing many of its people, none more so than the almost 200,000 who have been forced to flee continued fighting between Islamist, Al-Qaeda-linked forces and government troops in Abyan province. And many of those people have ended up here in Aden in temporary accommodation in schools like this one. It would be tough for any country to deal with such an influx, but for Yemen, in the midst of political and economic collapse, it's proving nigh on impossible. Bir Ahmed School is now home to 1,000 displaced people from Abyan province. The UN Refugee Agency is doing what it can, but meagre resources are being stretched to breaking point. Refugees like Mansour, Dawla and their 7 children feel trapped, unwelcome in Aden, unable to go home. Dawla, if I can ask you, what were your feelings when you realized that you had to leave, that you had to take your family and leave your home? How did you feel about that?
تركت بيتي من الحرب، فوقنا قصف طيران، فوقنا مدفعية، فوقنا كاتوشة، فوقنا وإحنا معي أطفال، اضطرينا هربت لهنا.
As the war came close to your own home, what did you see? What did you hear?
وإحنا حتى إحنا ورا بيتنا حشراية ونص من بيتنا حرق. وناس تعوروا جنبنا واصحاب القاعده قال اصحاب القاعده كانوا جالسين جنبنا وقصفوا عليهم طيران. طلعنا احنا هربنا، يعني صراحه احنا خفنا وهربنا.
What has it been like for you these last few months living as a refugee inside your own country?
يعني الحياه صعبه علينا وقدرنا بيوتنا وصعبه، ما عندناش شوف احنا جالسين في طرابيل برا، ما عندناش مكان نجلس فيه، ما عندناش.
Mansour, you have 7 children. You're living in very difficult conditions in a school which is not designed to be a place for families, for refugees at all. So how long can you stay, do you believe?
أنا أتمنى الآن في اللحظة هذه لو أدري أن مصيري بيكون بهذا الشكل كنت أتمنى أن أنا أكون أنمت. نحن في الغرفة هذه في بها 6 أسر أو 7 أسر. يعني صعب الأكل، صعب النوم. الآن ينظرون بنظرة ازدراء وكأننا دخلاء على هذا البلد، ونحن رغم أننا يمنيين يجب أن نتآخى ويجب أن نتآلف ويجب أن نتراحم، لكن نحن ننظرون الآن، نحن الآن نواجه حملة شوعاء من قبل المنطقة، على اعتبار أن نحن دخلاء على هذه المنطقة. يجب أن نخرج المدرسة، تعرضنا إلى مشاكل مع المواطنين، تعرضنا إلى مشاكل حتى من يعني القائمين على المدرسة هذه. الإدارة المدرسية اضطرت إنه بهذه اللهجة إذا ما بتطلعوا من البيوت نحن ممكن يعني من المدرسة يمكن يجي نخرجكم بأيدينا. نحن عايشين على مضض، يعني الحياة لا تطاق، إنما مضطرين، ما أمامنا أي خيار آخر.
It sounds like you are very disappointed in your own national security forces. You don't feel that they really defended your village, your home at all.
أكيد بكل تأكيد الجيش والأمن خيب ظني إذا كان ما يقدرش يعني يحمي مواطن عايش في البلد يعني وتارك كل الثقة على هذه الجهات الأمنية والجيش، يعني ما يقدرش يصدى المجاميع، ماذا سيفعل إذا كان في اعتداء خارجي؟
Visitors to the UN Refugee Agency compound in Aden must pass through exhaustive security, and the defences are being reinforced. Yemen desperately needs outside help, but delivering it is a hazardous business. Explain to me where we are right now.
We are outside the UNHCR office in Aden, from where we run our operations in the south of the country, and that includes the operations for the new arrivals from the Horn of Africa, the internally displaced persons from Abyan province, and any other activity which is related to displacement in the south.
So here we are outside your UNHCR headquarters in Aden. Why does it look so much like a fortress?
This is because of the reason that we are not working in a normal environment. We are working in a very challenging situation whereby the security situation is very difficult in the country. So it is our responsibility, and personally it is my responsibility as the head of UNHCR to ensure minimum security and safety standards for my colleagues who are working in this country.
But hang on a minute. I mean, your job is to reach out to people, to offer humanitarian assistance to some of the most wretched people in this country, and yet the blast walls, the bunker mentality, it seems to work against what you're trying to do.
That's a very important point that you make. Having said what I said about the safety of staff, our job is to work with people. And this is an office from where we coordinate our activities in the entire southern part of Yemen. But every day my colleagues are out there in the refugee camps, working with the refugees. They're out there in the IDP settlements, working with the IDPs. But from this location, our job is to coordinate all those activities. This is part of our work when we are working in a situation where you have several conflicts going on. And access is an issue, and through this talk with you, I would like to also communicate to the leadership of this country at all levels to allow us and to provide all possible access for humanitarian work to be done.
Are you suggesting, in saying that the government in Yemen is not actually offering full cooperation?
The government in Yemen has been traditionally very cooperative with the UN and with the international community at large. But they have their own challenges. It is not a secret that country has been going through several conflicts in recent times, and that has made things difficult for the government also to facilitate the work of the international community.
I suspect you're trying to be very diplomatic, but in essence what you seem to be saying that this is a failing state right now.
I would not go that far, and I would not make that judgment, but
well,
the
surely
point...
you have to go that far when it's impossible for you and your workers to reach some of the most needy people in this country because it is too dangerous, the insurgency is too strong, and the roads are not safe. That is a sign of a failing state.
Despite the fact that there are all those difficulties, we are able to reach most of the people who are in need. The bigger challenge at present for us are the resources. And here are 2 points I want to make. One, that Yemen is going through a serious humanitarian crisis. And two, the world attention is this humanitarian crisis is being overlooked and ignored. The question is why? And the answer is that most of the world's attention is going to the political issues and not to the humanitarian issues, and the fallouts that the political crisis has created for the humanitarian situation. And we are very concerned that if that situation is not addressed, we might see a new Somalia in the making.
A new Somalia in
the
Yemen.
making in humanitarian terms.
You've experience of Somalia yourself. Are you seriously saying to me that the sort of total breakdown in a state, in a society that we've seen in Somalia could be visited upon Yemen?
If Yemen is not helped by the international community at this critical time, there could be a good possibility to see that scenario. And that is something that the world cannot afford.
Naveed Hussain, thank you very much indeed for being on Hard Talk.
Thank you very much for having me.